didn't do. Oh,
yeah, there we go.
Yes, we're live. Woo! Oh my goodness me, Tuesday morning.
Well, it's the morning, isn't it?
It feels like it. And as we were just discussing before we went live, I have my Hugh Jackman mug. So cheers, clink.
Virtual, yeah.
Virtual. I have my coffee. Hello, everyone in Women Rising Above. So glad you could come and join us for your cuppa, hopefully this morning. Just bear with me while you know me trying to do my techie stuff. Can I find us on here? I'm trying to work out so I can see the comments, but apparently that's not going to work just yet. Never mind.
It's a little difficult. Yeah, comments don't. Yeah, we have to go back to them later. I think Facebook has rigged it so that we. Yeah.
Have you noticed you can't even see comments when you do lives now?
No.
On your phone?
They've changed so much. Yeah, so algorithms are changing all the time.
I know. Well, let's get on with hearing about you. Good morning, everybody in Women Rising Above. We have the beautiful Lucia Peters with us here this morning. How are you, my gorgeous?
I am well, thank you, Ali. Thank you so much for having me on here and Women Rising Above. It's just beautiful. I love what the group stands for. It's amazing, and we've gotten to know each other a little bit more, and I just think what you're doing and how you're helping women is just truly, truly a blessing and a gift. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Thanks, gorgeous lady. But do you know what? Today's not all about me. It's all about you today. This is all about Lucia. So tell me, who is Lucia Peters?
Okay, so I'm going to take you back on a little bit of a story. So I actually grew up in a small mining town in far north Queensland. I was the love child, as I always call myself, of my mother and father. My mother was only 16, sweet 16, when she met my father, who was 27.
Wow.
And he literally swept her off her feet, and I was the outcome of that. So love and light and pure love. I've always said that to them. Now they're 80 and 90, so it's like, well, don't speak shit, Lucia, so we don't have any of that anymore. But anyway, that's. But my father was Italian, and we grew up in a mining town. So my opportunities as a woman were very, very limited. It was back in the day, because I'm past 60. Back in that time, women had to give up work if they worked for the government in any shape, form. Once they got married, they had to leave their jobs. They could no longer work. Yeah. So women were really, you go to school, you do your what's the home ec? It was called in the day, home ec. And I was never a cook. I come from an Italian family, but I hate cooking.
I hear you, sister.
Cooking and cleaning are not my forte. I just do not like it. I do it, but it's not a passion. It's not a love. And I think there's probably a lot of women out there that think that there's something wrong with them because they're not like, the other women. But, hey, it's real. There's some of us that are not meant to be like that. Yep. But I was always creative. I was an artist as a young person. I was always creating artwork, and, I was always very, very creative. I had horses. I rode down the creek. I had a beautiful childhood growing up, a teenager. But my father was Italian, as I said. So culturally, he was deciding to get a husband for me at the sweet young age of 18. And it was like horror. And in those, like then, they decided who you married, who you were associated with, everything. You just didn't have a voice as a woman. So I kind of revolted a little bit and moved I used to skip school, you know, everything. I really just didn't like the what's the word? I guess it was that cultural belief that, you know, you're going to do this, you're going to have, you know, be a wife, have babies, and then that's your life, you know, and that's it. So as a young 18-year-old, I kind of went, well, shit, this isn't for me, and decided. And I'd always been one that I left school at 15, only got to a grade 10 education, and always had got a job really, really easily with my personality and my ability to communicate with people, you know, my love of being around people. And every job that I did have, I, you know, went to that higher level, you know, became a manager, team member, a team leader, that type of thing. But anyway, going back to Dad, I met my husband at 19, nearly 20, and I'd only met him in October. I was engaged in February, and I was married in July. So, yeah, it was just like snap. And we've been married 44 years this year, so it can happen, you know. It's been a lot of hard work, but it does happen. But all through my marriage, I've always been the same person, very creative, always wanting to aspire to something greater for women. You know, it's always been a passion. So always been very supportive of other women. I've been bullied in the workplace as well. I actually worked for a large department store, and I was counselled over workplace, you know, like,
wow.
Yeah, so been through the whole extreme. I was in banking and finance, same similar thing.
Wow.
Going through menopause, and just shit was going on, and they were not supportive whatsoever. So once I left that job, I swore to myself that I would never, ever work for someone ever again. And
wow.
it's been, I think I left in 92. I think that's when I left my full-time job at the bank, and I've never gone back to working for anyone. So there's always, the universe always puts something there for you. And for me, it's been running my own boutique, like pop-up market store boutique. I had a pop-up in a shop as well. And then I had a major fall a number of years ago and fractured my wrist in about 5 different places and couldn't work any longer with the hard lifting. So I reinvented myself once more and I became a stylist, and the stylist role has become my life, and it actually has really it really sits in well with me, because I'm very spiritual, very conscious, and very aware, very intuitive, you know, like I've got, I think it's part of my, I always say to my, I've got a mentor, and she's a spiritual woman. And I always say to her, I'm sure it's my Italian background, my gypsy background. And she says, no, it's not, Lucia, it's not. And I think it is. But my family is very old in Italy, and they go way back, you know, right through the centuries. So I think a lot of my intuitiveness and my spirituality has come from my background and, you know, past lives.
Have you researched that at all?
I have. I've gone back as far as my great grandmother in Italy. So we've only just found my father's birth certificate last year. Yeah, last year. It was last year.
Wow.
And he always thought he was 89. He's actually 90. And ironically, his birthday is on the 15th of December. Mine is on the 21st of December. And I always wondered why he was so tenacious and so, like, he's had 2 strokes. He's had cancer 3 times, I think. He's had a massive tumour off his head late last year. and I always wondered why he was tenacious. And I think it's that Sagittarian, you know, like that.
That affects.
Really?
Sagittarius too, yes.
Me too. So
Okay.
Dad's the 15th of December and I'm the 21st of December. And, you know, we're really strong. And I see lots of myself in, you know, from my father. I see that tenaciousness, you know. So what I've done now though with the styling business, I began the styling business just as a way of helping women still with my style, you know, like understanding how to dress them and you know, sharing that knowledge that I had. But what I've found is now I've incorporated that conscious connection, so that spiritual connection with styling, and it's just so powerful, Ellie. The connection that I have with women around their bodies and around their mindset, their spiritualness, you know, like just the way they feel about themselves is something I love to do. I love to meditate with them, help them through some of those patches that they go through. You know, we all go through those
Oh, absolutely.
scary times.
I'm going through one at the moment.
That means you're growing, apparently. So, you know, these really hard times are the things that will either, you know, set you back or move you forward. So
100%. So Lucia, tell us, what's one of the proudest moments that you have had in your life?
The proudest moment, I guess, and this is going to make me cry a little bit. I have a disabled daughter. Now, she was born, I was 21 when she was born. Now I'm taking a deep breath because I've just got to get myself.
We're all friends. Safe space.
I start getting emotional, and anyway. Deep breath. She was born when I was 21, and we nearly lost her at a month old. She nearly died on us. She was rushed, and we lived 2 days drive from Brisbane City, which was the biggest capital city and with the best care. And anyway, we nearly lost her, and long story short, I've taken her through many, many hurdles over her 40 years. And I was quite a young mum. Anyway, not last year, the year before, she had a lot of breathing difficulties. We've always had breathing difficulties, and breathing difficulties is something that have always frightened the shit out of me. Like anyone that can't breathe, I start to get a little bit panicky.
Right.
Anyway, we had all these tests done, and initially we went to the base hospital, and they said, well, looks like your daughter's going into heart failure. We don't think there's anything we can do for her, and we think she's in heart failure. And my husband and I just, you know, we just looked at one another and went, holy fuck, what are we going to do? You know, how are we going to face this? You know, just something else.
Yeah.
Anyway, she was okay. She came home. They said, we're going to run all these tests for her and see what's going on with her heart, what's going on with her lungs, what's going on with everything. Anyway, it turned out that she had extreme sleep apnea.
Right. Wow.
Really, really extreme. She was having so many apneas a night. It wasn't funny. And we always knew there was something with her breathing, because part of her syndrome was this beakiness and this cleft palate. So we always knew, that's why we nearly lost her when she was a baby, was because of breathing. And anyway, long story short, the proudest moment was when I went back to the hospital after many months. It was probably about 6 months of backwards and forwards. I was trying to run a business and try and keep the family all, you know, elevated. And my proudest moment was when this specialist doctor came and said to me, you are the reason that your daughter is here today. And said if it wasn't for the beautiful way you looked after your daughter, you would not have her here with you today. And it was, I cried. I'm trying not to cry, but it was the most beautiful and proudest moment, because it was all of that work, all of that thing, you know, all those things that you do for your children.
Yeah.
But someone recognises it. So it's beautiful when your children do.
Yeah, I agree. And when
someone outside sees it,
yeah.
That's just really makes you so proud. And that was it.
That is worth getting emotional over. Excuse me. Wow. How
beautiful. She's still here, and she's still beautiful. She teaches me every day.
And they do, don't they? Our children, you know, no matter how old they are, teachers every day.
I know. That's for sure. Yeah, that was my proudest.
Wow. Beautiful, beautiful. So tell us then, in that case, what's one of the biggest learning experiences that you had? Because we don't call them mistakes, learning.
No. Oh gosh, I think sometimes for me, my biggest learning is when when I talk too much, when I say too much.
Yeah.
So my biggest learning has been to stay quiet, listen, listen really carefully. And sometimes it's not even to answer. And I've learned this with my husband. My husband has PTSD.
Right.
And anyway, he, on numerous occasions, he's come from a very violent background. And I guess that's probably, he saw the calmness in me when we first got together.
Right.
And he's always one of these ones that just splashes, you know, he just, and he just lets you have it, you know. And when he does this, what I've found is just to let him go, just ignore the shit out of him. Just shuts him down straight away. But I've taken years to learn that. I've taken a long time to learn that, because I was one of these, you know, don't tell me what to do.
Okay, right.
You don't tell me what to do. I know what I'm doing, you know. So, yeah, and that's the lesson I've learned.
Yeah, fair enough too. And you know, I've kind of learnt something similar. Whereas I have a tendency, and those who know me well are going to go, yeah. I have a tendency to overshare. You know, like.
I think that's me too, Ali. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, like when you just, I'm a talker. You know, like I've said it many times. I can talk the leg off a chair, and I can. But yeah, and I noticed this actually at my old workplace, that I used to very much overshare stuff, particularly in a leadership role as well. It was like, you know, it's like, oh, did I really need to say that? And when I think back about it now, it's just like I should have just shut my mouth and
probably not.
And like you said, shut my mouth and listened, because that's really important. And I'm learning that too. Shut your mouth and listen.
Yeah. It is a hard one, because we've been encouraged as individuals to stand up for ourselves. You know, there's been this shift with women. You know, we've kind of learned that we don't need to be loud and obnoxious and vocal like what's the singer, Janis Joplin. You know, you don't need to be like that type of person to get your message across. You can do it in a very subtle way. And I think it's a little bit of that masculine, feminine, you know, that, it's a little of that, you know. We need balance. So we need a bit of that masculine and that feminine to really be heard as women.
Yes.
And I think sometimes you see a man, his traits, you know, he will shut down. He will go totally quiet. And that's, I think, what we need.
That's my partner.
And here's my little helper. She needs her laptop turned on.
No, Daddy's.
Daddy's, right. Excuse me for one moment.
Okay.
Say hello to the ladies.
Hi, beautiful.
Hi.
All right, you can go now. All right. Beautiful. Thank you. Close my door again, okay?
Okay.
All right. Good girl. You got dressed. Proud of you. Oh, Maddie.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Amazing learnings there. Okay, so my favourite question, as everyone knows by now. So fast forward 10 years from now. No, hang on, let's go back to the one before that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, I'm going to go back to that one. I'm going to make you answer it. If you could go back and speak to younger Lucia,
Right.
what would you tell her?
Younger Lucia. I think younger Lucia would have finished grade 12, not be influenced by others. I was strongly influenced. I was a pleaser. I was definitely a pleaser. My relationship with a friend in high school almost led me down the wrong path. Almost. It was only my parents' love for me that sort of brought me back to where I needed to be. So definitely was a pleaser back then. More of a I'm more curious now. I want to know a little bit more about people before I make a judgment. I just get to know them, get to know their story. But yeah, younger Lucia definitely followed. But in saying that, I followed that person. I'm no longer friends with that person, but some of my other friends from that time, when I was 13, well, I've just lost a school friend from primary school 2 years ago. Now, we went through from grade 1 to just 2 years ago. That was like a 50-year friendship. And yet the other one that was influencing, I no longer have that friendship with that person. So I think as a younger person, just listening more to your heart.
Yeah.
When you're sensing that something isn't quite right, generally that's usually the case. So listen to your wiseness. We're born with it almost, aren't we? I feel
Instinct. Yeah.
Our instinct is to protect and preserve us. So yeah.
Definitely. Okay, now my favourite question.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah. So, looking forward to 10 years. Forward 10 years from now, where are you going to be? What will you be doing?
Okay, so I've got some big ambitions. I've got some really big ambitions. The first one is to live 6 months overseas and 6 months in Australia. So that's my first.
Wow.
Italy is my home. I really felt that, and I've been back 10 times since I was 40. And I love the country. When I get there, I just feel at home. I can walk the cities wherever I am. I just feel at home. It's just absolutely amazing. And I have that sense of coming home. I don't know. Yeah, I just have that sense.
Yeah.
So that my husband came with me a number of years ago, and he felt the same way. So he loves the country. So that's a really good thing. Like I said, we've got aged parents, so we actually live with them. We built an Italian style home where mum and dad are downstairs and we're upstairs. So
right, wow.
Massive big home that we share. So the future for that, we don't know. That's just in the lap of the gods, as far as what happens with that. So my future 10 years is that we have that, but we also have a property somewhere out of this house, because 10 years I do not see mum and dad still with us. And I believe that we'll have something a little bit quieter, and we're going to purpose build something so that Natalie, my daughter, has a house off the, like it's connected by a corridor. But she lives away from us. At the moment, she lives with us, and she can be quite noisy. She's a 40-year-old, so she loves the loud music. She loves, all of that stuff. And then I with that property, I plan to put on some little cabins or B&Bs. That's
Oh, wow.
what I'd love to do. Just have. I went to Jasper National Park 2 years ago, and there's all this. There's a little park that's been done like a caravan park, but it's all cabins. So they're all 1-bedroom cabins. So one bedroom. And I'd like to do something like that, just like a little log cabin type thing with a fire, and we're looking down Stanthorpe, Warwick, sort of a bit colder area. So that's the goal there.
I'd come and hang out with you.
Yeah, I know. Still doing my business, but my business is actually going to look a little bit different in 10 years' time. My goal is for 5 years is to have trained up some stylists themselves so that they're running their own businesses, and I'm actually coaching them on how to run their own businesses and do their own business. Beautiful. And that's the long-term goal. So 5 years, then 10 years, I'll be able to just have that. I believe that what is it called? Just that income from the business. So so I can slow down a little bit. I've been working since I was 14, so I guess, it's time to slow down. But it never feels like work. It really is nice just to communicate like this. And I've been doing this for. I had a business coach prior to the one I have now, and she's in Melbourne, and I've been doing this for the last 2.5 years prior to COVID, so for me it's pretty normal. And when people say, oh, why don't you come out and go on to a networking event, it's like, do I really need to? Because I've got my slippers on underneath here, I've dressed up, but I've got my slippers on, so they're pretty funky slippers, but you know what I mean. It's
I do.
Yeah, it's that really nice opportunity to talk to lots of people this way. Yeah.
It is. It's kind of really has opened up the world. And I don't know if I've said it before, but I call it business up the top, bogan down the bottom, because I've got tracksuit pants on, I've got really fluffy socks, and the heater on under my desk.
I've got the heater as well.
No one's going to know. Oh, well, they do now because
they do. We tell them.
I just told them. Anyway. Okay, last general question. So what's one piece of advice that you would like to give the other beautiful ladies in this group?
Okay, so depending on where you're at, I guess, with your life, women, what I've found over every 10 years, so I'm not really talking much about styling, because that's styling is something that I do. And unconsciously, I guess the thing is, women have an intrinsic sixth sense about styling themselves. I've looked at many wardrobes, and I can see that they've got great style. The thing with styling, though, is that we need a plan. And a lot of women don't have that. So for me, as a stylist, I go in and I help them create that plan for their wardrobes so that they no longer spend all their hard-earned money on more clothes. Because what happens is women are continually in this not good enough, so they buy. Not good enough, so they buy. So what's happening, all the energy in the wardrobe is getting clogged and blocked because they're not using all of their wardrobes. So that's where that conscious, styling comes in, because it's all about unblocking the energies that are in the wardrobe,
right?
And using all of your clothing. So not just, and I've done that today purposefully. I've worn my sparkly top, because I love pink. I've always loved pink. Pink's my branding colour. But I've dressed it down with just a little jumper. But it always makes you feel really, really special when you put something, that's a little bit snap. So my biggest suggestion is that use the entire wardrobe And if you want to know how to get a plan together, talk to me because I can help you with that. But yeah, moving that energy, having that abundance in your wardrobe will reflect back on you, because you look at your wardrobe every day. What am I going to wear? What am I going to do?
That's true. That's
I
true.
know.
You're
Yeah.
talking something.
I know. Yeah. And you take a piece of clothing out, so you're moving that energy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
The things that are all stacked at the other end that are not moving, that's all blocked energy. So that's all things that are not moving. So I encourage you to get a plan and use all of your clothes. So we work through and do that plan for you. So that's what stylists do. Stylists help you with that. So,
awesome.
So get a plan, ladies. That's my biggest suggestion to you with your clothing. Because otherwise I see the tracky dacks and the big tops, the black and the black. Yeah.
What did you say to me before we came live? You said I should wear this colour more often.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's I love colour. Colour uplifts you always uplifts.
It does. When I was younger, I used to always wear black everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Probably because you wouldn't think it, but I was quite a shy, I don't know, quite a shy child at school, and I tried to blend in, so I always wore black. And I've kind of subconsciously carried that through my life.
Yeah.
But I love it. But ironically, I love it putting a bit of colour on.
Yeah. It's just it's making that effort for yourself.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you're answering to yourself. If you don't have a life that you love, well, why not? It's you that you've got to answer to yourself. At the end of the day, you don't get another chance.
Yeah, that's true.
You never get another chance at it. So, you've got to make the most and be the most that you can for everyone else. Because I think when you're serving others, that's when you forget about yourself.
Yeah.
You just, you look after yourself, but you just share that love for yourself to others because you've got plenty to give.
Exactly. Oh my goodness, Lucy, it's been so good speaking to you today. So obviously do you have sessions or something that you can offer to our ladies? Because it is promo, you say promo day, so
okay. So I have a 45-minute style reflection offer. And I can put it in the comments once I'm finished here. And basically I go through and let you know about my packages that I do have. I have a 3-hour package, I have a 6-hour package and a 9-hour package. And we embrace the conscious connection. So we talk about your wardrobe, we talk about styling, we talk about your body shape. That's not in the 45 minutes. So the 45 minutes is just a snapshot of what you are finding your biggest struggles around. So, yeah.
Awesome. And I'm very excited too to let everyone know that Lucia is actually our guest speaker at our next meetup. Woohoo! So,
absolutely. I've got a beautiful PowerPoint ready for that one. That's awesome.
Geez, you're organised if you already got it ready.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, I've got that one organised. Yeah. So
exciting. So now off the top of my head, I'm thinking it's Wednesday the 6th of August at 10 a.m. Australian Central Time.
Yes.
But anyway, you will see all the details of that popping up over the month in the group, everyone. So thank you so much, Lucia, for coming and having a nice morning chat with me today.
Oh, it's been lovely, Ali. It's interesting when you start talking just how it all flows, and you just think, oh, shut up.
No.
It's beautiful, and thank you for having me, Ali. It's been beautiful. Your group is amazing. Women, rediscovering purpose is just beautiful. Yeah.
They are a beautiful bunch of women. I'm very proud of them all.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. Thank you.
So thank you, my darling. We will come back and have a look at all your comments in a minute. And yes, Lucia, make sure you put your link in there. So
I will.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Thank you. And yes, we will see you at the same time next week. All right. Bye.
Bye, Ellie.